Good morning. Well, this morning I'm getting my tomato steaks ready. Now my tomatoes are still very small because we keep having cool weather and tomato plants just don't get going really till the weather gets warm, and then they just shoot out of the ground. But we keep still having nights that are down in the 40s and a lot of rain. Really, it's a little damp even for tomatoes, but you know, the weather's turning. I think we're out of it. But anyway, what I'm doing is I'm getting my tomatoes ready. Now, what I did is and I'm just using the twine that I get off my straw bales. And I just took, this is just a 2x2, okay? Probably have to replace these next year. They're getting a little time worn. But I just took the twine that comes off my straw bales that I bought for mulch, because it's good, heavy, stout stuff, but it's thick enough it won't cut into the stems of your tomatoes. Now I tied it around the bottom of the stake, and then I just put a little nail up in the top so that I could just hook it up there, okay? Left a little slack, because what I'm gonna do is as that tomato plant grows, I'm gonna wind that string around it so that it's holding the plant. Now, there's two things. First of all, I'm going to prune these tomatoes this year. These are going to be single stem tomatoes because I want each tomato that forms to get full size, to get as big as that plant can let it get. We're going to do, I'm going to prune off leaves that are below my lowest cluster of fruit. And as you notice, I got extra string. Got plenty. So what happens with tomatoes, whether you're caging or staking, is there comes that time in the summer when I run out of stake. That tomato has gotten 6 foot tall and it's still growing, and I've got to the top of my stake. So what I'm gonna do is when that tomato gets too tall, throw a little loop in this, unhook it from the nail, and lower it down a little bit, okay? You got to be careful doing it, but you can do it. And then what you do is that'll just kind of let that tomato stem curl around on the ground. And it's just the bare stem, because any leaves below that lowest cluster of fruit you don't need. They're not doing you any good. So that's what I'm doing. And that'll let that tomato grow all summer long, but you're not going to run out of tomato stake. It'll always be right here where I can reach it, I can take care of it, I can do what I have to do. And as the year goes on, I'll go in more and more into how you prune them, what you got to take off, and what you want to do. There's more than one way to do it, but I'm going to show you for sure this year what I'm doing. Now, like I say, the point of this is I want a single stem for tomato plant. I don't want a whole bunch of little side shoots coming out and going all over the place, because I don't know about you, but I've always noticed in years past, before I learned really about pruning tomatoes, that the first cluster or two I'd get nice sized tomatoes, but then towards the middle of the summer, as they kept growing and vining and growing, I'd get more and more in number, but smaller and smaller in size. Well, that's because you've only got one stem that goes into the ground and picks up moisture. But with all those little side shoots going, you might have 6, 7 clusters of fruit trying to develop. So they're just not getting enough to let them develop. So that's what I'm doing now, and that's the theory behind it. So, like I say, this will be something I'll touch on more and more all summer long, I hope, if nothing crazy happens. And let me show you one more thing. All right, now this is a little trick that I learned on Facebook. Sometimes people will come up with some pretty sharp stuff. Now, this is my electric fence wire, okay? And don't have it plugged in right now, but this is the wire. And what you're gonna do is we're gonna fix it up so that animals coming up towards your garden will want to investigate that wire first. They'll want to check that dude out. So what I've done is taken a little scrap of aluminum foil, and I put peanut butter on it, okay? It's whatever kind you want, it really doesn't matter. But the fact is, squirrels, rabbits, anything like that wants to get in your garden and eat your produce is going to smell that peanut butter and going to be very, very interested in it. So all you do is you just fold it around the wire like so that they can smell it and they can see it. And of course that aluminum foil is metal. So when they try to touch that foil to get that peanut butter, boom, they've gotten to see the electric fence work. So that's the whole idea of it. It's just another way to ensure that, and you need to do maybe one piece on each side or each corner, somewhere where, whatever direction they come from, they're going to notice that. They're going to see it, and they're going to smell it. So that's the idea. That just helps hook them in. Well, all right, I hope your gardens are growing good. I'm not doing bad, but I am having a lot of trouble with germination rates aren't what I want, for green beans especially. And I think that what it is basically is just the cool weather. It's just some of that warmer crop stuff. It gets to 40 at night. The seed wants to get started, and then it gets cold and it stops. And then the ground warms up a day or so later, it wants to get started, and then it gets cold again and it stops. So I'm going to have to do a little replanting in the next couple of days. But, that's life. Gardening isn't so much about you just hit it right the first time every time. It's more about doing a little bit every day and taking the problems you have and how do you work around them? How do you fix them? How do you get things going back the right direction? Well, all right. I want you all to have a quality day.